Back in the 1980s, the tagline for the campaign to free Soviet Jewry came from this week's Torah portion, Shalach et Ami, incorrectly translated as "let my people go." The photograph behind me is from one of the most famous and largest demonstrations in support of Soviet Jewry. Thanks in large part to the vision and the passion and the sheer drive of Natan Sharansky, who at that time was called Anatoly Sharansky, who was the iconic prisoner of Zion, who initiated the rally. He galvanized more than 250,000 people who gathered on Washington, D.C.'s National Mall on a bright, cold Sunday afternoon in December 1987 and made history. The outpouring of solidarity with millions of Jews trapped in the Soviet Union who were unable to practice their religion or emigrate to freedom coincided with a summit the following day at the White House between President Ronald Reagan and President Mikhail Gorbachev of the Soviet Union. This was a dramatic effort to pressure the Soviet president to open the gates of emigration. At the White House, Reagan said to Gorbachev, "Yesterday, I had 250,000 people in my backyard saying, 'Let my people go. Until you do what they want, nothing will happen.'" However, as I noted in last week's video, that's only the first half of the phrase used by Moshe. He said, "Shalach et ami v'ya'avduni," send out my people, not let my people go, actually. It's correctly translated as send out my people, Shalach et ami. But let my people go will do. It's an iconic translation, even if it's not quite accurate. Let my people go so that they should serve me, v'ya'avduni. Last week in this video, I suggested that this pasuk, and in particular the end of it, v'ya'avduni, that they may serve me, gave a particular purpose to the freedom for which Moshe was working. In other words, let them go for a purpose. And I want to expand on that this week. In Jewish thinking, freedom alone is not a value. If a man is free and he uses this freedom to hurt others or to abuse his body, say with drugs, or to waste his life, is such a freedom of value? Better that he be a slave and do something constructive. Freedom is only of value if there is a purpose attached to it. Without purpose, people will be no happier free than if they were slaves. The Jewish people throughout history have faced many existential challenges. Just throughout modern Israel's short history, there have been wars, terrorism, UN condemnations by the dozen, BDS, threats of annihilation, and more. In the diaspora, in the past, there have been blood libels, pogroms, persecutions, and attempted genocide. Today, we see a resurgence of anti-Semitism in the so-called liberal societies. On campuses across the world, shuls and kosher shops are shot up and require round-the-clock security. However, perhaps the greatest threat to the Jewish people today is not Iran or Hamas or white supremacists or any other external threat. The greatest threat to Judaism, and as a result to Jews today, lies in its lack of purpose. At least 1 million Israelis have left the country, abandoned the land for which we yearned for 2,000 years. According to the Pew report in the USA, fewer than half of Jews raised in Orthodox homes have remained Orthodox, with more than 20% leaving the religion altogether. Even among the Haredim, there is a worrying exit. A recent poll showed that 12% of Haredim aged 20 to 24 were leaving their fold. Young Jews are becoming disillusioned. So what purpose does being part of Am Yisrael serve? Shalach et ami v'ya'avduni. Send out my people so that they may serve me. Freedom must include a meaningful purpose. And yet of all the nations For the Jewish people to lack purpose is the most ironic and tragic. Our whole history has been one of dreaming of a better world, striving towards that goal. From our very inception, even before we were a people, when we were just the family of Avraham Avinu, the concept of being a light to the nations has inspired and driven us. And we've done so. The values of our Bible have permeated the entire world. The whole Western value system is based on the Torah. We do have a purpose, and that purpose remains agonizingly within reach, if only we would grasp onto it. A person drowning is tragic, but a person drowning because he is lying down in a few inches of water and all he needs to do is to stand up is unbearably tragic. Is that what the Jewish people is doing today? Are we drowning because young Jews find no meaning in Judaism, no inspiration in Judaism? Are we drowning in an inch of water? We need to stand up and refocus our minds on the Vayavduni, our purpose in having the freedom that we fought so hard to gain and are still battling to preserve. And if you're already standing, help someone else stand up. If you are inspired by something, share it, shout about it, and inspire others. Shalach et ami v'yavduni. Send out my people that they may serve me. Shabbat shalom.